Hello, Vivian, and hello, gang. How are you all?
Very well. How are you?
Very well.
Oh, I'm about as good as normal. Vivian, how are you, dear?
I'm
Oh,
fine. I'm
oh,
still here,
you're
still
sending
alive.
out your notifications, aren't you?
I am.
You're sending out notifications on your telephonic device.
I am. I'm very clever.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope there's lots of you watching. I see there are 3 of you already. And tonight we have a slightly extemporized show because, as those of you who follow such things might well be aware, allegedly, and this has got to be said allegedly because I don't know anyone who's actually seen the film yet, but allegedly, I'm not sure, is that the same film? I don't think it is. The one that was at South by Southwest yesterday, that allegedly features Roger Patterson's widow and son saying that the famous footage from 1967 is, despite everything that the surviving witness, Bob Gimlin, has said for the last 59 years, is a hoax. Now, I'm assuming that you all will know what I'm talking about when I talk about the Patterson Gimlin film, but let's assume there are some people out there watching the show who don't. We're talking about this. Why the hell is it doing that? I'm sure you all know that film because it's one of the most recognizable pieces of footage. It's one of the two most recognizable pieces of amateur footage from the 1960s. The other one being the Zapruder film with the Kennedy assassination. It's one of the two most recognizable pieces of footage of.
John, there's a Zapruder film. That's a no-brainer, really, though, isn't it?
Oh, that is an appalling taste.
You can put me on mute if you want, John.
I never put you on mute.
Okay, then.
I'll only unmute you.
This wouldn't be a Simply Spooky show if it didn't have a pissed up Welshman talking bollocks. It's what we love about you, and here we want to say, yes, we are talking about the Patty film. Good evening, Nettie, and good evening, Robert. And
No,
everybody says good evening to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Basically, we decided that it would be, well, basically, I was just chatting to Ian and I came to the idea we were just totally extemporized this, that Ian would join me, Vivian, and Lee. So we could have a sort of debate, a sort of drunken ramble, and a sort of whatever else we do. And here's Simon. He says, hello, it's hello from Denmark. By the way, Simon and his, you don't know this yet, Vivian, but Simon and his Oppo, Thomas, are both going to come on the show soon to do a live one with us all. I've been really busy behind the scenes this week. I've got all sorts of new guests and everything laid up. I got pissed the other night, and at about 3 in the morning, I emailed a load of people, asked them to be guests. I always function best when I'm drunk. So, Ian, can
on.
you just, for the record, for those people who don't know, just tell quickly the story of the Patterson Gimlin film?
Well, it's yeah, as you said, it's probably the best one of the two best known films from the 60s, sort of cine films. Taken in 1967, two guys, Roger Patterson, Bob Gimlin, were out in the forest in Bluff Creek, California, and they came across a Bigfoot and managed to film it in full color, and that's what we've got. Since then, much debate has taken place as to its authenticity. Unfortunately, Roger Patterson, he died. It was 1970, 1971. He died, so not
Oh, it
long after.
died within
Yeah,
5 years, anyway.
yeah.
I
So
went to the date because I can't remember. But
yeah. So that's basically the background, and then the whole debate for the next 50 odd years is that a man in a monkey suit? Now, if it's not a man in the monkey suit, then it's the best thing ever, isn't it? You know, if it's not, it can only be a Bigfoot or a man in a monkey suit, nothing else. So that's the debate we've got.
yeah,
So
because it was many
mm,
years before CGI and
yeah,
AI imaging and all the things
you
we
know,
got now.
but it's nothing else. It's one of those two things. And if it's not a man in a monkey suit, then you know, that's what we want, isn't it? So
Now, the thing I've always found interesting
mm,
is that people are so polarized on this.
mm,
Richard Freeman, who I respect highly as a scientist and I love dearly as a friend, he believes that that is footage of a female Bigfoot because you can
mm,
see her tits
exactly.
walking slowly across the camera. I think it's a man in a monkey suit.
Um,
And everybody is polarized about
mm.
this.
Did you ever think that it was real though at any point, and then change your mind later on when you saw it first of all? Or have you always thought it was a monkey man suit, monkey suit, monkey
I
suit?
was massively disappointed when I first saw it
Really?
because a bit like the oh god, what's his name? The guy standing up in a boat.
Tim Dinsdale.
A bit like Tim Dinsdale Loch
Oh
Ness
yeah,
footage.
yeah.
I'd
That's
read about it
mm,
before I saw it.
yeah. No,
And
obviously, yeah, that film is a big disappointment. You can't actually see what it is, but obviously this film, you
yeah,
see
but
what it
I'd
is.
read about it and I
Mm,
thought, wow, this is it. This
mm,
is a um final proof we
evidence.
need that there's a
Mm,
unknown human higher primate, unknown hominin. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, fuck off. That's
yeah.
a man in the monkey suit. And I was about
Mm,
11 when I was
well,
11 or 12 when I
yeah.
first saw it. And I was massively underwhelmed.
No. I would have been 9 because I saw it first. I remember I saw it first on Arthur C. Clarke, and I was aware, you know, I wasn't stupid. I was aware that things would be hoaxed, but I thought for that footage to get that far, to get on TV without being uncovered as a hoax, I thought it was real. So, and for many years, I did think it was real, but obviously over time, yes. Now these days, yes, I go with the monkey suit. But no, there was a period when I was younger that I thought, yeah, that's a Bigfoot, and Bigfoots are real. That's what I thought. So,
Okay, we have some comments from the floor. I remember Richard Freeman arguing elsewhere that if Bigfoot was an extant species, one would have been shot by hunters or run over by a car a long time ago. I've always thought that. But then Robert Fulton writes, the problem is that they must have known to carry a big camera. At that time, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time. And does Freeman subscribe to the theory that Bigfoot used to be extant but later went extinct? Hence why we haven't got any new evidence as convincing as the Patterson Gimlin film. And hi Ben, it's nice to have you aboard. Welcome to the show. And Benjamin Jones says American Sasquatch is a good documentary about how Bigfoots appear and disappear. And Lorenzo says, Viv, you need to find Lee a boyfriend. He tried chatting me up last week.
I will when we go to DinoCon. Me and Lee will be on the prowl.
Well, actually, Lorenzo, I just commented that if you looked like the person in your photograph, then I wouldn't mind having a date with you. But it was just based on the icon imagery that you had there.
How about the other two members? The other two members of the panel. What do you think of the Patterson Gimlin film?
I'm just scrolling through to see if I can find a picture of the actual camera that took the film footage, because it is in a museum, and I happen to see it. It's not as big as you think. So
all the girls say that.
From the messages, from the comments and the messages, that it just sort of made me sort of start looking for that. I don't know if it's on the.
Whilst you're doing that, Lee, what do you think of the of this film then?
So I've never believed in the Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot or Bigfoot at all. I think it's a man in a suit. The reason being is his gait. Because the way he walks,
exactly,
it doesn't make sense for somebody to be that big and walk the way he walks.
Well, I think the analysis shows that he's not that big, though. He's not much more than 6 foot. It's a regular sized man anyway.
Yes. Yeah. But somebody that you'd imagine that if somebody grew up, evolved into the trees and that sort of thing, that their muscle structure would be better than ours, sort of thing, is what I'm trying to allude to.
I find that the way the creature walks is identical to the way a person walks to start with.
Paul Vella said it was 6'7".
6'7". Well,
Emlyn Jones.
6'7" people do exist.
For those of you who don't know, Paul Vella used to run the CFZ BHM, that's
Big Hairy
Man Beasts
Yeah.
study group, and he died of complications of diabetes about 10 years ago, something like that.
I think
he was a lovely guy. We're all very fond of him.
I was going to, I forgot to ask you, Jonathan, as a cryptozoologist, are you required to believe these things?
No, it's not like being a Christian. You're required to believe in the historical existence of Christ. A cryptozoologist is somebody who studies mystery animals. I've studied the Patterson Gimlin film, and I've come away with the idea that it's bollocks. That doesn't necessarily mean that the whole of the idea of there being a mystery upright walking ape in North America doesn't stand and fall on the Patterson Gimlin film.
No, there are many, like the Iran Pendek is probably a real thing.
And Ben says, on the other hand, if it is real, it would show a creature that moves like a human. Upright locomotion, no ape does that like we do. Fair enough. I think I've never believed in it, but the interesting thing now, as far as I'm concerned, is the sort of sociological thing. How people are reacting to this latest claim. And remember, it's only a claim, and I don't know anybody who actually saw the documentary that was shown at South by Southwest on Sunday or Monday. I don't know anybody who's actually seen it.
I'm sure. Okay, go on, John.
Also, the fact that the people who have made this documentary keep on saying, but we haven't got a distributor yet. There is no way you can see it yet.
There was a documentary that sorry, just put me off.
What on earth are you talking about, dear?
There was a documentary that we were discussing before we went live that was put to air last year, and it talked about the fakery of the Patterson-Gimlin footage, and it went into great detail. It was a documentary that interviewed the lady that was called in to do what was she to do? She was to do something to do with Hollywood and to basically sell the film footage. It talked about one of them being so badly in debt, he owed a lot of money to a lot of creditors, so he wanted to make money on this thing, that he drank a lot at the time. The person that made the suit came forward and they interviewed him, and they even said somebody else in one or the other, I don't know whether it was Patterson or Gimlin, they saw the suit in the boot of the car. They had a practice run. The man that wore the suit, they had a practice run. They put the suit on him and it had to be altered because it didn't hang right, which was easily enough done, and it's explained in that documentary. And they even had somebody walking. Do you remember that documentary?
I saw it yesterday. It's basically the people
involved.
Last
year.
Yeah, but I actually watched it yesterday. It's basically the people involved in Greg Long's book, The Making of Bigfoot, and Greg Long is in it, and it goes with the Bob Hieronymus is the guy in the suit. He claims to be the guy in the suit. There's debate. Bob Hemorrhoids, yes. So we call him that.
That was good.
Yeah, you like that.
Very good.
But yeah, so that's what that was, and it is. If you read that book or watch the documentary, it all makes sense. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence there about Roger Patterson's background, where he was someone who was looking, he was an inventor. He didn't want to work. He wanted to do that one thing, which was going to make him $1 million. And that's what he was about. So it kind of made sense, the fact that he would have faked this. Plus, he was obsessed with Bigfoot. He wrote a book the year before the film was released, and and even when he made the film, it wasn't an accident. They were actually on an expedition to try and find Bigfoot at the time. So that's why he had the video camera with him.
I found the picture of the actual camera, which I believe was purchased. So
very cool.
I've done a screenshot from the film that I took while I was there. So please forgive me when I show you this.
That's another thing. Patterson didn't purchase the camera. He got it on HP, and he never repaid the company for the camera. So he was he wanted to make money. Obviously, he was short of money.
Of everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So my question,
let's see your picture.
Let's have a look.
Sorry to shout you down, Lee, but
no, carry on.
Hang on. Can you see that? No, I've not done it right. 1 second. 1 second, callers.
Sweetie Pie, use the thing the same button that you do to add people to the screen. Yes,
it's there. So you can see I've taken it from the film. It shows a lot more than just the camera, obviously, but I did a screenshot when it got to the camera part.
There
So
it
that
is.
is the camera apparently that they used.
Can
It's
you
not
make
very
that
big.
No.
Woo, what happened there? No. Is the answer.
We can see the camera though. It's definitely one
Oops,
one
sorry.
from the past. Eh?
So apparently that is the actual camera. I mean, I can get more of a because they had a whole section on the Patterson Gimlin thing, and the camera was there. They had an interview with one of the guys that they were showing, and yeah. So yeah.
I tell you what though, this film that's out now is called Capturing Bigfoot. That's what it's called. I'm sure we're all
Okay.
going to see it. I'm sure we're all going to see it in time. And I think, as John said, the Patterson's family, they come out and give details about the film, which have not been previously released. Now, apparently, though, there is they've got footage of a dry run of the actual film, which was shot a year before. So it was taken in a different part of the forest with a different actor in the suit. So if that is actual, if that's real, and they've actually got that, then that really does shoot the whole thing to pieces, doesn't it? If you've got a previous footage of a Bigfoot that they shot a year before using a different guy in a suit,
Well,
thinner guy,
again,
then that's really does screw it all up for all the believers, I would think. But
yeah,
but that's what
again,
I've heard.
it shoots the PG film in the foot. It doesn't shoot the idea of a North American man beast in the foot.
Oh, of course, in the same way.
That doesn't stand and fall on
Of
this
course.
one piece of footage.
Well, in the same way the surgeon's photo has been debunked. That still doesn't mean there's no monster, does there? But there probably isn't.
I've got a question that I just want to put out there. If all these so-called experts in the field have referred to the Patterson Gimlin footage, and I refer to this book again, that's not the only book that has it. This is one that I've just pulled off the shelf because I knew it had it in there. And even Jeff Meldrum himself referred to the Patterson Gimlin footage. Other people have. They've neither said it was real nor fake. They've put it out there. They've used this footage. Do we then question each and every one of these so-called experts that have used that? Some have even said, yeah, I believe it to be real. I'm not going to name names, but do we now?
Well,
has it turned all that on its head? Like,
well, no, it means that people who have constructed a complete piece of methodology based upon this piece of footage are mistaken. It doesn't mean anything more than this expert or that expert or this researcher or that researcher are mistaken. It doesn't mean to say that everything else they say is.
So, I was going to say earlier, I do think that this sort of thing, the same with the ghost world as well, damages credible people. Because as soon as you get somebody that fakes things for money, I think that you'll get somebody that comes along and will say, oh, it's all fake because this particular thing is fake. And the same thing happens, I think, with mediums as well. You get lots of charlatans, and they damage the community. They these people that do these hoaxes. I believe very much that there are cryptoids about. I don't know what they are, but and my belief is based on the fact that we haven't explored half the world yet. We certainly haven't explored most of our oceans, and there are many things that we don't understand or know, and there's very many parts of the globe that haven't been properly explored, properly mapped, even though we've been on it for quite a long time. So people are more interested in making money and blowing things up, it seems, rather than exploring and getting to know different parts of the planet. So I really think that this man, if he is faking, is absolutely despicable, really, because he's damaging what we do.
Yeah. But Lee, these people exist, don't they? This is the trouble.
Oh yeah, no, they exist. But I'm just saying that they're rubbish.
Well, I know, but
do you think the family have come out now with this documentary out of guilt, or for what reason?
Did they not recently stop being paid?
That's more like it.
It could be, couldn't it?
Always follow.
I know they're going to be paid. I know they're going to be paid for this. So
yeah. So, and from your point,
that tells you nearly it's the main motivation for nearly every person.
And your point, Vivian, about experts, I think that people can be conned, and this man. Even though they're experts, they can be conned, and just because somebody was conned doesn't mean that they're not experts. It just means that they were conned. I've fallen for the most ridiculous scams, and that just happens. It's just some people are horrible and clever and good at exploiting folk that are decent. There we go. I'll shut up now for a minute.
It's a good point.
That's completely right. You've got it on the nail. You hit the head nail on the head there.
But then, John, one thing, John, though, who's our favourite person, eh? And he was a terrible con man, wasn't he?
No one has ever lived and loved like Frank.
But we can't shut up about him. We love him.
No, because Frank Searle was a godlike genius.
He's a man. He had a way with the ladies as well, which I liked. So
yes, I'm quite impressed by that.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Sounds like a man that I'm reading about just now.
Yes.
What are you talking about at the moment? I don't know. Who is it that you're talking about?
Hang on, who's that by?
Oh, Anton LaVey. Yeah.
Oh,
so it sounds like you're describing him.
No, we're talking about a guy who used to fake Loch Ness photos, and he's faked a lot of them. And that's who it was. So anyway, carry on, John. Ignore me for them.
So I've got a question, right? So sorry, Nettie. While it's in my head, let me put it out there. I'll forget it. While I was in what they call it, in Oregon, Sasquatch country, if you like. I had the pleasure of meeting Cliff Barrickman, who was responsible for casting something like 70 odd footprint casts along a beach area, along a river in Clackamas County somewhere, I don't know. But he did, so it's one Sasquatch walking, and he did 70 casts. And I had this in-depth conversation with him about his thoughts. I mean, this man is so trained. He showed me a piece of film footage that was him looking at a grass verge, seeing a print. I couldn't see it, and he cast it, and he got a fantastic print. So these people obviously go out in the field all the time. It's not just for cameras, nothing like that. He's going out in the field. He does things privately. and he knows what he's looking at. Some people do it for a hobby. Some do it. People do it for monetary gain. I will only now, because of all this with the Gimli and Patterson, will only truly, and still have my doubts, but lean more to the yes, I trust you, and yes, I believe you, are the people that are out there doing it, not these people that just happen to get film footage, because that can be so easily fake. This is just me personally, and this is what this Patterson Gimling, I don't know what you want to call it, fiasco. Yeah, has left me with. It's left me with a sour taste in my mouth, and I will only believe. And it's not just ghosts, Sasquatch. It's everything. It's only people that I know, listened to, spoken to, asked questions. People that go out in the field and have done it. They are the only people that I'm going forward. That's what I take from this now. I don't know about you guys.
I've done it in a field.
No, I bet you have.
Done it in the field as well.
Yeah, I think we all have.
I've always been quite skeptical about these things.
What about people doing it in fields?
Yes, I've never seen it.
Or in a toilet.
I've got a video you should watch.
Sorry,
I'll send you a link in the.
Well, I was.
Yeah, I think there's a whole YouTube, there's a whole channel on YouPorn that's dedicated to people doing it.
I was once invited to this dogging thing, and I realised I didn't know that I thought it was bringing my dog out to the park. Only realised afterwards that somebody explained to me, and I wasn't, I luckily I didn't go, goodness sake, but I thought it. So yes, I am that person. Quite sheltered, really.
I sent Vivian to a dogging site.
Yes, you did, Jonathan. I went looking for a pig man and ended up in a dogging site.
Oh dear.
So you can imagine, no pig man. It's just people wearing masks, stealing identities, getting up to lewd sexual encounters, whether it's man on man, woman on woman, woman on man, or maybe just a whole big gangbang. I don't know. They don't want people to know who they are.
Boggles the mind. It really does, doesn't
it?
Gosh.
Let's get to Nettie.
I'll tell you what, though.
Lorenzo says, bless you, Lee. You're far too lovely.
Oh, that's kind. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Man.
Can it chase? Can it
Ben knows. That's because he must go. I'm only joking, Ben.
Isn't Cannock Chase a site of outstanding natural beauty? Is that why you've mentioned?
And dogging.
And Pigman.
And Pigman.
And Black-Eyed Children with their hit. Tonight's going to be a good night.
And the Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Yeah.
British Bigfoot, the UFO activity is a hot spot, basically. It's just outside Birmingham, isn't it? It's
it's in Cannock, in fact.
Yeah, it's a hot spot for these activities.
It's where Nick Redfern used to live, and he popularised the idea that there was a lot of weird shit happening on his doorstep.
And there's a German graveyard there, World War II German graveyard, isn't it? Which the Dog Man is associated with that, and sightings happen around there. Yeah.
Ian, in the words of Michael Barrymore, what's a hot spot?
Something floating.
Not
in
a
my
good spot.
Not
a good spot.
Not my swimming pool. My swimming pool's not a good spot. No.
Oh, bless you.
Bloody swimming pool. That's quite. Quite impressive.
I tell you what, though, back to the Bigfoot. I know we've sidetracked a bit here. One thing about this Bigfoot stuff, about the Patterson Gimling film, people say, and you must have heard this, they couldn't have made a suit like that in 1967. They didn't have the tech or whatever.
Good.
Isn't it? Have you heard this? It's like, the suit was too good. They didn't, and that's, no, I don't think so.
It wasn't very good, though, was it, really?
The thing is, it was. I thought it was good, but the thing is, the footage is still. It's not clear. You can see obviously there is a human form going through the wood, but it's not clear enough. for you to see, proper details.
So,
You know what? My nan had a Singer sewing machine. This is back in India. She had this Singer sewing machine, and those machines are built. Those needles are built to go through anything. She'd sew leather, and this is back then. So can you imagine? They'd had this big sewing machine in the back of some workshop somewhere, and they made that to order. They would make them to order,
yeah,
and you could
very easily, I would imagine.
You had at the
Yeah.
time Planet of the Apes was in the cinema. They had good costumes.
Yeah.
It could have been a Planet of the Apes costume, couldn't it?
Well, that's one theory, that it was made in Hollywood. I don't think it was. I think it was made by Roger Pattinson, because he was, a very creative guy. So he bought.
He went to a. Didn't he go to in that documentary? He went to a prop store.
Yeah.
And they had them there that they were selling to people that wanted to dress like monkeys and all sorts of things, and it was adapted from that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was. Half the population of Cannock Chase who wanted to dress up like monkeys so they could go dogging.
But now you're thinking of monkeying. There.
Yeah.
Well,
too much monkey business. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But also less than 10 years later, you had Star Wars, and Chewbacca was obviously, that was obviously a Bigfoot, wasn't it? So that was, so it was there. It wasn't, it wasn't. I don't buy that. It could be done. So.
Wasn't there a claim that Bob Hieronymus had broken his hip, which meant that he could move in a certain way that the creature in the video did? I remember something about somebody.
Yeah. I don't recall that, but he did have a kind of distinctive walk, because he was filmed. Just doing his regular walk down the street, and you could see there's something quite similar between the two things. But then again, other people have claimed to be the man in the suit. But Bob Hieronymus does seem to be the most convincing, and he was friends with Patterson and Gimlin, and he's got photos of them, as young cowboys out on the range on their horses. So he was, he did know them. So and he was a big guy. So if they wanted to use someone to play the part of Bigfoot, it made sense. So, and he said he was supposed to get $1,000 to play off Patterson for doing it, but he never got any money again.
Patterson sounded like a complete and utter crook.
Yeah.
This whole thing sounds like a land-based analog to the Robert Le Sirec
Sea Serpent. Yeah. But obviously this is a lot more out there, isn't there? The Sirec thing is known to people like us because we're into this, but I think everyone's seen the Bigfoot film, haven't they? Even though they're not interested in it, they're familiar with it. They've seen it at some point. So
it permeates popular culture, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's been used.
When filming Return of the Jedi, the film crew had to provide security for the production to prevent Bigfoot hunters from shooting the actor portraying Chewbacca.
But the thing is, guys, you've got to remember that actual still of Patty swinging her arms, looking at the camera, has been used to. It's been put on the front of sweets, candy floss. The actual outline of her has been used in models, sold to children. There has been so much money generated from this. It's just ridiculous. It's not just about the hoax itself. It goes into advertising. It goes into a lot more than
the opening. The opening credits of the X-Files had it. So and so on and so forth. So
it was even in a Coca-Cola advert.
So
yes.
Oh yes, it's been everywhere. And even today, there's a on Pluto TV, there's a channel purely dedicated to the $6 Million Man. And today, which one was I watching? The Bigfoot one. So it even got in there. And Bigfoot turns out to be bionic. So, and Steve Austin rips his arm off, actually, in the same way as it happens in the Holy Grail.
And Ben says to Simon, not surprised Americans being Americans. I'm shocked at such blatant racism. Who would have thought that anybody could accuse the peace-loving American people?
Right. Who's typing loudly?
That's thee.
Oh, right.
How could anybody accuse the peace-loving American people of shooting people shooting at things indiscriminately? I'm shocked at such a thought. And
Right,
then no offences. I was being as offensive as I could, then, but not to you.
I found something interesting, guys, about this Patterson gimmick. This is in the People website, and I'm going to share my screen and just show you if I can. Okay, it's going to hop over any second now. So this is the People website, and I'm sure this. I don't know. This is part of a. It's not hit newspapers here yet, but it says here. This was 5 days ago. But this was a hoax. It explains. It goes into it. It talks about the documentary filmmaker Mark Evans. It's got pictures that you might find interesting. That's Roger Patterson in 1967.
Let's have a look at that now.
Look
at the what do you think? What do you think of that? Where he's putting that cast there? Do you think that's a real cast or something someone's created? What do you reckon?
It's too neat, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
If you look behind my head when you'll see a copy of that cast.
Yeah. See,
and then there he is there again. That's with his son Clint.
How much money did he make out of this video?
Well, he wouldn't have made a lot because he died not long afterwards. But his family, obviously, would have owned the rights. I think that's
no, the rights ended up somehow René de Hinden.
Oh yeah, it was on his brother-in-law.
He ended up owning the rights, and I've never understood why.
Wasn't that his brother-in-law or something like that? Wasn't it? He was related to him.
I don't know.
I can't remember, but yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
So
that's pretty
interesting. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, it is out there. Google it, search it, research it. You'll find it, and you'll find more information about the hoax itself.
I think
there's the footprint that you've just shown.
Is that a real one, John? Did you take that yourself?
No, I bought it on eBay.
Ah, right, cool.
It is allegedly a copy of one of the Bluff Creek 1967 films.
I think, though, the actual film capturing Bigfoot, I don't think we're going to, unless you, I don't know where we can see that. Maybe it'll come out on Netflix perhaps soon, I don't know. But
well, nobody's done it. Nobody's got a distribution deal for it yet.
If you've got a dodgy phone, you might find it.
I'll tell you what, though, about this Bigfoot thing. Bullshit or whatever. The best thing, I think, is the Albert, what's his name? Albert Osman. You know, John.
The Albert Osman.
The prospector. The story is amazing. About a guy, it was in the 1920s, wasn't it? He was a prospector in the Wild West, out by himself, looking for gold, and he was in his sleeping bag one night, and he got picked up by something, and ended up living, or being held captive with a family of Bigfoots for a few days or whatever. Bullshit or not, it's an amazing story, and that's why we love it, isn't it? I think it's things like that. So if you don't know that, are you familiar with that?
I heard a story about a little boy that got lost.
You can join in if you want.
He got lost, and he was only
And he
young. He was
died.
about 5. He was about 5, and a Bigfoot had found him.
Guess who's just joined us?
Louie.
It's Louie.
Hello.
Say hello to the boys and girls, Louie. We're debating the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot footage.
I will say hello to the ladies and gentlemen, because saying hello to the boys and girls post Epstein seems a little bit shifty.
There's nothing I can say to that, dear boy.
Right. So tell Louie to be quiet. Now I was rudely interrupted, so I will continue.
Yeah, Vivian. Oh, Ben in the audience says, hi, Louie.
So the story goes, the 5-year-old boy got lost. The Bigfoots had found him and looked after him. He was so many days lost in the wilderness until eventually they brought him close to civilization, that he walked out into a road and a car stopped, found him, took him back. And this young boy of about 5 gave this fantastic story about this family of Bigfoots that looked after him, kept him warm, sheltered him, and fed him. This has come from the mouths of innocence. Surely, like, a 5-year-old kid could not survive this amount of time on his own in a forest and come out reasonably healthy and not shaken by it. I believe stories like that come out of the mouths of babes because they've got no reason to lie.
And who was this boy? Do we know? Does he have a name?
It was. I can try and find out, but I saw that a long time ago. Yeah. And it was to do with the 411 missing. You know, it's part of that kind of story where this one was a survivor rather than bones being found scattered all over the place.
So is he alive now, the boy?
Yeah, grown up.
Well, it would be good if we could get him on the program. That would be a scoop.
I mean, one of the
right.
If I'm going to put my I'm going to put my skeptical hat on for a second. Actually, I don't have I just have a bowler hat, but I don't have a skeptical hat. Could he have eaten some mushrooms in the forest that gave him hallucinations?
I doubt it.
John, what do you think? Is that possible? You should know.
Why does anybody, when they're asking questions about drugs, what do they always ask me?
Because you're the expert.
Would a 5-year-old know how to pick them?
Yes. Unequivocally, yes.
Would a 5-year-old know how to pick mushrooms and eat them? A 5-year-old wouldn't like mushrooms.
Well, it might do if they came from a hippie family.
It might be if they were bright coloured and you wanted to know what they tasted like and they looked like sweets.
Kill him.
Maybe that's what happened, though, Viv. He went into the woods and there was a hippie family in there, you know, living an alternative lifestyle. They had lots of fear, and
I'm gonna try and find him. I'll make it my thing. If I get him on this year.
Viv, going back a couple of weeks or a few weeks though.
A 5-year-old child can eat mushrooms unless they were shaped like McDonald's chicken nuggets, quite frankly.
I always loved mushrooms, even when I was a little boy.
Yes, but you're not exactly a little boy now, are you? I mean, you know, the kids these days, they won't eat their peas. They just want DoorDash chicken McNuggets with, I don't know, what was that Szechuan sauce that was popular from that cartoon?
Well, then they all have to be beaten around the head and neck and told to behave in a civilized fashion.
Jonathan, you're on a live stream. You're doing a foul child not eating your peas.
Although this boy wasn't this boy a while ago that he was a boy, so that it would predate the current. But all children are different anyway, so not all children like chicken nuggets. Some children do. Some children are quite bizarre, like myself. I was never a normal child. And now I grew up to be a normal person.
Why does that not surprise me?
When I was a boy, I used to Can anybody remember the A-Team?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
You look
used
I
like
to
lived
be-
through them, and I can only just about remember them.
So when I was in junior school, I used to pretend to be Howling Mad Murdoch from the A-Team, and I had an imaginary garden that I used to water every break time, and I'd look after this imaginary garden because I was Murdoch from the A-Team. So children are bizarre creatures. I mean, it's amazing how I ended up so rounded and normal.
There's a few of these. I'm just looking about this boy.
That was a joke.
So there's a.
And when you were a boy, did you ever go to the Neverland Ranch by any chance?
Oh God, no! No, I'm
No, you think
no, that no.
Because lots of boys ended up there, didn't they?
Yes, sadly, yes.
Right, so this boy, right, there was one that vanished, and it's his story near Mount Hood for 93 days, and hundreds searched the forest and never found him. So that was one. There's one here in a 3-year-old boy lost in a freezing forest for 2 days in North Carolina. Says a bear kept him safe. Could it have been a Bigfoot?
Yeah, well,
Another one.
The bear would have eaten the child, wouldn't it? So it's
Exactly.
Yeah,
Bigfoot
like
raised a
good meal.
Bigfoot raised a human kid for 6 years. This is the story of Mark, a 12-year-old boy who found himself in a nightmare beyond imagination. There are loads of them. There's loads and loads of them. So maybe we should try and get one of them on the show.
That would be good.
That would be great fun. We can get Louis to interview him.
I don't think that. I think bears might eat some children, but if the child came about at the right time, when the bear had lost a cub or something like that,
and
then
lactating.
There are stories of feral children that grow up being raised by beasts. I mean, Lord, the Jungle Book was that, wasn't it? So I do think it's possible.
Yeah.
Not probable, just possible.
I think it's very likely because quite a few species of animal have very strong maternal instincts.
Exactly.
And adopt youngsters from a totally different species. So,
and a bipolar would adopt a boy or a girl equally. Either one doesn't mind. Likes both.
Oh dear God!
Come on, recycle jokes. You've got to recycle these days. So,
Benjamin Jones says, "Got to go now. Thank you for the interesting video. Well, I hope you'll come again and see us. We do this every Wednesday evening, Ben. And
I hope he'll come on the show because Ben's an amazing guest. We had him at Paraforce, and he was fantastic there. So Ben, think about it.
Ben, come on as a guest one evening.
A quick one though, Viv. Talking about guests, you did mention a while back about getting Elvira. How is that coming along?
Oh,
as in Mistress of the Dark.
As in Mistress of the Dark, yes.
We were going to try. I don't even know where I've put her stuff. I'll have to try and dig it out.
I love the way I watched that movie, and it's quite horrible what she turns the older brother into, isn't it? That sort of poo monster in the movie.
I've not seen this movie.
I have
Elvira. It's called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
You sure
I thought he was talking about Human Centipede then.
No, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Yeah.
Or Dutch Mud Play Volume 4.
We know somebody who appeared in a travelling stage play of it, don't we, Louis?
Yes. But anyway, we got other guests coming anyway, so that's all right. She must be getting quite old now, though. Elvira, she was from the 80s, as I remember.
She lives a completely different life now, apparently. So it would be interesting. And I'm still on the hunt for a proper Satanist.
Vampira is dead.
I
original.
actually know a Christian Satanist.
Well, that'll be good.
I could have,
That's what we want.
he's a great
Why-
friend of
why-
mine, actually.
Really? Why are you keeping it to yourself? That's what we want. That's what the viewers like as well.
I have mentioned him to Jonathan before.
Really?
He's a great friend of mine called David. He's a Christian Satanist.
Well, get him on. He can
Would you come
explain
on?
himself.
Yeah.
So if you want him to come on, he'd love to come on. His name is David, and he watches the show actually. So hi, David.
David, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So David
Book
is a
him in.
Christian Satanist, and he
that's what he
celebrates
means.
Lent as he celebrates Lent as in devil. He calls it Devil Week or something like that, or Devil Month or something. You'd have to ask him.
Nico says I'm working.
He's also a
with
musician.
Next
One
month,
of my best friends. Sorry, I'm shut up now.
who has worked with Elvira on a few occasions.
Mm-hmm.
They do the conventions together quite often in the US. Sorry, Lee, I didn't mean to shout you down.
No, it's good. It's good. I was waffling anyway. I tend to do
You
that.
realise, boys and girls, we have Louis all the way from driving home from work in South Carolina.
Hi, Louis.
Oh, Carolina, jump and prance. Oh, Carolina, jump and
So anyway,
prance.
back to the Patterson Bigfoot thing.
Yes.
So what's
Bloody
our
hell, what's happened to this show?
Yeah, exactly. We've
Ian
gone a
is
bit
the
off the
one who's
rails,
supposed
haven't
to
we?
be drunk and talking bollocks, and he's the person who's actually bringing us all back to the sensible.
To the sensible topic. So basically, what we're all in agreement here then that we don't see any truth in the Patterson Gimlin film. No, we're all sort of
we're all in agreement, I think, on that, aren't we?
Yeah. What about in the chat? Does anyone disagree, or is it what we got out there?
But I do like Vivian's evidence about Bigfoot, about what you said about the child that met them. I think that's a lot more compelling to me. I think that's wonderful, actually. And,
but there's also native, what would you call them? First Nation people. You can't call them Native Americans anymore. So the First Nation people. That apparently it's a really bad thing to do.
I think
anyway.
Why?
I think that's where the name Sasquatch comes from, isn't it? That's
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
they've
got pictographs that are very old that have been seen. I don't know if they're preserved. There are some pictures floating around of them and the Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you want to call it. So there are some old, really oldie pictures that have come from First Nation people. There are also the First Nation. Oh, thanks, Deborah. She's just said Indigenous. So there's also the stories that have come down through the ages, word of mouth, through the tribes, talking about women that had gone to live or were taken by Sasquatch and forced to stay with them. There's those stories that are dotted about, and there's also folklore that they mixed quite freely with the indigenous people, and it was only when one of them had killed a human accidentally that there was the split and the divide, and they were made to go off and go into the woods or whatever it is that they're supposedly doing now. But yeah, there's a lot of directions that you could go in.
Exactly.
What do you believe? What do you believe?
Well, it makes sense, the Gigantopithecus theory, even though it may not be right, but it makes sense. So, and apparently, modern man did live side by side with Gigantopithecus, so they say. And also it's interesting that the indigenous Americans, they had these these legends as well in their scriptures, but also the Tibetan monks of Nepal. Also, that goes back centuries. There are these wild men of the mountain, the hairy men of the mountain, etc. Though it's often thought that might be the Tibetan blue bear, which is a very rare animal, but it does exist, and that might be an explanation for the sightings that have happened there. And there was an actual Yeti, a Yeti skin, which did exist in a museum. Not that I think it still does. And when that was analysed, it was turned out to be that of a blue bear.
And the Tibetan scalp of a Bigfoot.
That's goat's hair. I think that was created. Yeah, that's
shoulder.
Is it a shoulder?
I have a technical question for you, which you can answer, I hope.
Okay.
You live in the Great Satan. So why is it that it is now inappropriate to refer to the indigenous people of North America as Native Americans? Why can't you do that anymore?
So, I think this is okay, there's a couple of things on this. So, it's definitely inappropriate to call First Nation people in Canada Native Americans. That's like a definite faux pas now. In the United States, it's not quite as big of a faux pas, let's call it, but it is moving that way. I think Native American is a word that was given to that group by let's call them non-Native Americans, and they would prefer to have an identity that they have chosen for themselves as a demonym.
What about Red Indian?
That's definitely unacceptable. However, this all being said, quite frankly, I think from my feeling living here, people are giving less of a hoot about this kind of stuff because there's bigger fish to fry nowadays. I think we've gone for a bit of a phase of cultural sensitivity where it may have gone a little bit too far. I think it's kind of balancing out a little bit now from my feeling on the ground living here. That being said, let's say the non-Native Americans, they don't really give much of a hoot anyway about political correctness here. You don't want to be one of those here.
I suppose this possibly is part of the fact that the word American has now become synonymous with people from the United States of America, not all the people of the two continents of North and South America.
I have a question for him, actually. Do Bigfoots find the name Bigfoot offensive? Wouldn't surprise me. Oh. Big nose.
Bigfoots would find the word Bigfoot.
Respect Bigfoots,
But once again, as our correspondent from the Great Satan, who's here on the show, what do you think about that, Louis?
I didn't hear. Sorry, I was just getting caught in traffic. Say again. What was the thing?
Do you think that I just made my big Great Satan joke again, but
forget it. Great Satan. Stop saying that. Come on.
Shut up or I'll push you into the Gulf of America.
He's recently renamed the Strait of Hormuz the Strait of America, by the way. Did you know that?
You are kidding.
No, it was a tweet that he did.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Let's change the subject because we will get pushed. Don't talk about it.
I can't be part of this.
No, don't talk about it. We can't talk about it because we'll get banned. So
okay.
Stop. I have a question for Louis, and my question is: in America, why can't archaeologists easily dig up ancient finds and they have to jump through hoops to do that? I know you talk about the First Nation thing again, but surely if you want to get to the bottom of a mystery, you have to dig up these old relics to do it. Why is America so backward in coming forward in that regard?
Okay, we're getting into it now. We're going there. Okay.
Hang on, Louis, stop talking in that revolting colonial patois.
I love it.
You come from Sussex, for God's sake. You don't come.
Yes. Listen. I came from. I now live in the Great Satan, and I came from what I believe they call the Sly Old Fox. Okay, but I've learned a few things living here. Okay.
Yeah.
America talks a big game about freedom.
Sorry.
What you don't understand until you move here is it's not as free as they advertise. And I'll give you a for instance. If I want to have a compost bin in my garden, that takes a permit. If I want to have chickens, that's a different permit. Okay? If I want to dispose of some batteries and I have more than a few 10, that actually requires me to go and pay a little fee at the local recycling centre to recycle some batteries. America is a land of freedoms if you're doing what everybody else is doing, i.e. you drive everywhere, you shop at Walmart, you go to Target, you do your little Starbucks run. If you be a little bit off the ventured path now, there's a lot of red tape here, right? That's not a scathing criticism of America, but the amount of red tape, it's pretty damning when you get off the beaten path, in my experience.
So let's say you found, Louis, if you found something really interesting while you was digging in your backyard and you hit something really interesting that was old, would you have to now then go and get permit and call in experts to do it properly, or could you just dig it up?
I guess this would depend, and this is where it gets really sticky in America. It's going to depend on what state you live in. It's going to depend on what county you live in. It's going to depend on what city ordinance you're subject to. So, for example, in the UK, kind of a parallel here, if I wanted to go and have a bonfire in my back garden to get rid of some leaves, I go outside, I put some leaves in a pile, and I set fire to it. And the only people that might complain might be my neighbours. If I want to have a fire to burn a few leaves in my back garden here, and I'm not making this up because I have looked into this, I have to go and call the city, and I have to tell the city that I'm about to have a fire, and then they're going to ask me a bunch of stupid questions like, do I have a hose pipe nearby in case I start burning down the neighbourhood? Then I have to call the county fire marshal and request permission to have fire. And then I also have to call, and I'm not making this up, you have to make 3 separate phone calls to burn some leaves in your garden. You have to then call it's the state version of the Environmental Protection Agency to report the fact that you're going to cause a little bit of pollution from your leaves burning. So you have to make 3 separate calls, and this kind of illustrates the levels of bureaucracy that you can get. You might find something in your back garden or a backyard if you're American, and you might think, oh, I can dig that up. But then you have to go and figure out, do I have to tell the state? Do I have to tell the county? Do I have to tell the city? Do I have to report? It could even be you might have to report it to the federal government in certain cases. So there's layers of bureaucracy you need to wade through. The only saving grace I would say to this that we have nowadays, thanks to the benefit of technology, is you could go and ask the AI gods, the AI overlords, what do I need to do? Who do I need to ask? And it might be able to give you an answer pretty quickly and point you to the correct paperwork and forms. But my experience, in a nutshell, to close this point, is layers of bureaucracy can be very tricky to do certain things.
And that could be the reason why we're no further forward, knowing if Bigfoot is real or not. If they bury their dead, you wouldn't be able to dig them up.
And Simon says this sounds like a subplot in Franz Kafka's The Castle, except even more convoluted. I think the modern world is so ridiculously Kafkaesque, you wouldn't believe it.
Yes, it's quite sad, isn't it? Really. I've lived in America, so myself, so I know a little bit about what America is like. And
Did you send a letter from America?
A letter from America. Sorry. Yeah. So, corporations have rights like citizens, don't they? Over there, isn't that correct? Am I wrong,
Louis?
Yeah, sorry. Again, it's a little bit hard to hear with Carl.
Corporations have rights like individuals over there.
Yes. I mean, technically, under the British legal system, corporations are a person-like entity, as I believe the exact wording. But certainly in America, that kind of line of thought is more powerful. What I'd also say, this might be a worthy point to make here. I don't know if anybody's heard of the University of Chicago School of Economic Thought, but the University of Chicago School of Economic Thought, the people in the University of Chicago honestly must be on some sort of drugs, because their solution to things like climate change and pollution and environmental destruction is to parcel up and sell every square chunk of the earth to somebody. Every little bit of ocean, every little bit of rainforest should be owned by somebody. And they claim at the University of Chicago that the only reason we have environmental destruction and pollution and all of this, stuff that we see as a negative today, of course, is because we haven't sold the whole world. But if we sell the whole world, if there's always somebody to sue if you damage their land. If somebody goes and dumps in your little patch of ocean you own, you can sue them. If somebody chops down your bit of rainforest, you can sue them. So this is kind of the thinking behind some very influential people here in the United States. It's also truly alarming.
I find that absolutely horrific. By the way, Lee, we can hear you typing.
Oh, sorry. I'm not at the minute. So I was just looking something up really quickly. Several rivers have been granted legal personhood, but that is an aim to prevent pollution. Because if they're treated as a person, you can't dump your garbage into them. There's the Magpie River in Canada, the Wagnui River in New Zealand, and the Atreo River in Colombia. There we are.
Good, I didn't know that. And Deborah said about the fact that you wouldn't have the problems of burning leaves in a farm or small town, but big cities you cannot burn rubbish.
Is it okay to burn a tire in the town? No.
I would have thought not.
No.
When can you burn?
It's very hard to hear other participants over the thing, so you'll have to repeat, John.
When can you burn tires?
If you're going very fast in a car?
Tires as in things on a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not French. We don't just put them on the motorway and set fire to them.
All right.
So now you've insulted the entire nation of France as well.
Yes, but the French, the only one thing you can say about the French without any question is they can take a joke.
They were the ones who wanted to sue ABBA for writing a song called Waterloo, and that's true.
And is it true in America that the word for nappies is diapers?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Is-
Okay.
Yeah.
But they've got a very, very peculiar version of the King's English.
Yeah.
They say sidewalk instead of pavement.
Trash can.
And if you want to knock somebody up, as in wake them up,
Yeah.
it means a completely different thing in American English, as I found out when I was there.
Yeah.
we
You ended
have-
up in a police cell that night, didn't you?
They have.
No, I've
They
never been
have.
in a police cell.
They have one of the most stupidest laws ever, which is jaywalking. Now, Americans that come over to the UK cross the road anywhere they like. But in America, if you did that, you'd get arrested for jaywalking. It's quite serious over there. Is that right? Is that right, Louis?
In theory, I think it's less enforced now than it used to be. I've definitely had a case where I walked out of the doctor's surgery, and there was road construction all over the place. It wasn't clear where you could cross and where you couldn't. And a police officer was directing traffic. There was nothing on the road, and we were about to cross. And the cop said to us, "If you cross here, I'm going to ticket you for jaywalking. You got to walk 5 minutes down that way." I was like, "Well, there's not even one car. You won't let us cross, really?"
I was in a bar at Los
People
Angeles.
are not.
I was in a bar at Los Angeles Airport about 30 years ago, and I still smoked. And I was sitting in the bar, just bought myself beer. I reached in my pocket and got a pack of cigarettes, and the security guard pulled a gun on me. Will you put those cigarettes down, sir, and move away?
Crazy.
Wow.
But it just brings me back to my point, though. In America, I think if the archaeology was more extensive, like it is here and in other places across the world, you would have more of the answers that we're seeking for. And I think I don't know why they're stopping it from happening. You know, these things should be found, preserved, learned from, not you can't dig that up because you haven't got enough money, or you haven't got the right permit, so it's not the right time of year, or you're not the right skin color, or it doesn't matter. You know, we as a world, as a human race, we need to learn, and we learn by looking at things from the past and looking at our own mistakes and hoping that they're not repeated. But
a bit like the extensive archaeology they've done on Oak Island, where they found absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Well,
I could have told them that before they begun, but they've destroyed the island.
There are places, though, aren't there? I forget where it's called now, but isn't there a place that's got a Mercury River, so they can't, you know, where the terracotta warriors are?
I think
China.
There's a sealed tomb near there, isn't there? Let me look it up and see what I'm talking about. Sorry about my typing. I'll type quieter.
You're giving those keys a good hammering.
You can't dig on indigenous land, tribal grown. But the thing is, the whole of America is tribal land. It belonged to them.
So
you know, it's that.
So it's a
mausoleum. You just said that after you wouldn't let me make a joke about the Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah, and I don't mention this war because we will get banned. Tribal land.
Wait till we're off here, John, because I want to hear it.
Yes, off air.
I've got one that'll get us banned as well, but I'll keep that.
Yeah, off air.
So there's this. What I was talking. I knew I was talking about something that was real. There's a seal. There's a sealed tomb, the mausoleum of the first one emperor, Queen Shi Huang, Built over 2,000 years ago, it remains unopened due to fears of deadly mercury levels, structural damage, and legendary booby traps. Soil tests confirm high mercury concentrations, supporting historical accounts of flowing rivers. I watched a documentary about it. It's meant to contain a vast treasure, but it was built so toxic are the rivers around it that it's not there. Yeah.
Was it built by the Knights Templar by any chance?
No, it's a real thing. Look it up.
No.
I'm not.
Okay.
By the
I'll have a
way,
look at that.
it's interesting that you said what you said about archaeology, Vivian, because next week, our last Wednesday of the month show guest is Ray Harwood, who is an archaeologist and also a Bigfoot expert, and is often referred to as the Sasquatch archaeologist. So that was a wonderful piece of product placement for next week.
Here's one as
We can
well.
ask them.
Have a read if you want. It's quite entertaining, but don't take it too seriously.
Is that Lionel's book?
This is no. This is Randall Sullivan. This is basically based on the TV series. It's quite good, but Lionel did write one, didn't he? And also Lionel's is appearing at the Strange Days, isn't he, this year? If I'm not
Is
mistaken.
he?
Yeah. Check it out. Yeah, he's on the bill. And
Lovely. I'm very fond of Lionel. He's a dear, sweet. He's well into his 90s now. And
he must be getting on a bit. But yeah, he's speaking, and I'm on the reserve list, so that's good news, isn't it? So
and John's speaking. John's speaking there.
And I'm on the reserve list. So if you don't want to see me, so if you don't want to see me, then pop along.
Yeah. We'll have a drink and you can give your spiel if you don't speak to those that want to listen anyway, because we'll be there.
We'll see. Hopefully I'll get the phone call, but if not, then so be it.
If not, you'll probably get it for next year. So.
And if not, I haven't got a book to sell at the moment, John, anyway, have I? So.
Yes, I know that I haven't done your fucking contract yet, Squid.
We'll sell plenty, I assure you. We'll make some cash. Yeah,
great. It's a cracking read.
Are you sure? Well, I
enjoyed it. It was full of.
You liked it, well.
And it was
fair enough, but
cracking read.
Can I just say tonight before we go, how wonderful the two lads down below are looking in their finery this evening.
The regalia.
We have Ian wearing his smoking jacket, which is it's very suave and sophisticated there, and Lord Lee as well. And what is that? A poncho? What is it that you're?
So I'll show you.
I just love it.
It's a poncho, isn't it?
It's a poncho.
Yeah. So it came from Nepal. It's made out of yak hair, I believe.
Made out of yeti skin.
Yeah.
Yakety yak. Don't talk back. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I didn't know
it's got
ponchos in Nepal.
It's got a hood. Well, I bought it off Etsy. It said it was from Nepal on the Etsy site. It might not have been. It might have been from somebody's backyard in Bangor, for all I know. But it said it was from Nepal. Ooh. And I quite like it because it's got a bit of style to it, you know. I like style.
My uncle used to walk the fields when tending the farm villages to get arrowheads. If it's your farm, you can dig up what you find. Brilliant. But might be
claimed by indigenous people. If it was Bigfoot, would have no claim.
This is crazy, isn't it?
I think we got 5 minutes to go, so we're going to.
Could Bigfoot be an alien? I mentioned my alien thing last week. No.
Last time we were talking, you thought St. John the Divine was an alien.
Well, I think Bigfoot could be an alien also, you know.
No, John, in the CFZ yearbook, doesn't what's his name? Gerard. Doesn't
Ken.
he approach? Yeah, doesn't he promote? He covers that, doesn't he? Bigfoot alien type topic. Is that
Yes,
right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. So there are theories, and there have been sightings of Bigfoot, Bigfoot with UFOs and that kind of vibe. So if you look into it, you can go down that route if you like. So
And of course, that the CFZ yearbook, and is my copy on the surface? No, it's not. The CFZ yearbook does, of course, have a very good article by you in it about Frank Searle.
Yeah. No, I was pleased with that. So my copy's downstairs. Otherwise, I give it a plug. But yeah, if you buy a copy, there's plenty in there, isn't there? You get value in the yearbook.
Yeah, for 15 quid, it's nearly 300 pages.
Yeah, it's a pretty hefty volume. There's quite a few, there's some good stuff in there. So yeah, if you're into that, you can just get a copy of the course
and
as well.
Simon in Denmark says Stan Gordon wrote a lot about people having seen Bigfoot and flying saucers, especially on his book Silent Invasion. I've heard of that. I've never got around to reading it.
Also, in the Unexplained magazine as well, they do go down that route with Bigfoot alien crossover. So maybe have a look if you've got access.
And can I just say, Ron Moorhead did explain, and it is written in books and things somewhere, that when he was out in California and the Sierra Sounds were recorded, that they did see bright lights going through the forest before that. So there is a tie-in there, maybe somewhere as well with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just worth looking into, And as we've discussed tonight, you don't have to believe it. We generally agree between the four of us that we don't believe the Patterson Gimlin film, but we've been discussing it for the last hour and a half. So if you're into it, have a look, see what you think.
And to answer Lee's question from right at the beginning, no, you don't have to believe in this shit to be able to study it or be interested in it. Simon says, some of Zelia Edgar's videos about really weird Bigfoot stories where they're sometimes seen in the same context as UFOs use that Stan Gordon book as source. And Wild Bill says, long time viewer, first time listener, greetings from the USA.
Also, you got Ted Holiday. He was, the dragon on the disc. He was associating the Loch Ness Monster with UFOs and so forth.
And I always thought my favorite book of his was Goblin Universe.
I'll be honest, myself personally, that's going a bit too far. I draw the line with that. But it's up to you, isn't it? It's up to you, this whole thing. If you want to explore further and just analyze what you read, believe, disbelieve, go for it.
Yeah, and it's okay to have different opinions from everybody else.
Exactly.
If you believe in it, that's fine. We won't discredit you for believing in it, but we have our own theories. Everybody does.
Exactly.
Just keep searching.
And the one thing that's not okay, and I'm talking to you out there in the wider cryptozoological world, kiddies, the one thing that's not okay is to get into punch-up with people, start insulting them, threaten them with bodily violence because they don't believe the same as you do.
Yeah. No. Basically, if you don't like it and you don't like us, do something else, have a different hobby.
There are other YouTube channels out there.
Exactly, other things. Go and watch football or something.
It's never a good reason to inflict violence on somebody just because of their views.
But then I'm always up for it. So if you want to have a word with me, then I'll be in the car park afterwards. if you want some, yeah.
See what happens when you have a pugnacious Welshman.
Yeah,
How much rum have you drunk
In
this
fact,
evening?
I haven't done too well, to be honest. That's
Oh.
still.
Only about a third of a bottle.
Yeah, I
That's
wasn't.
very
No,
good.
I'm pleased actually. I thought I was going to do worse than that, but no, that's actually quite good. Especially as that's not actually mine either. So
Always tastes better when it's not yours.
that belongs to someone else. So
And Timon says the heavy metal band The Obsessed have a song on their latest album called Gilded Sorrow, which I have listened to a lot this week, titled It's Not Okay.
mm-hmm.
And finally, he's arrived late.
As usual. No, that's the time difference, isn't it? Some people's clocks have changed already.
It's not
Hello,
clocks, is it?
David. How are you, David, dear boy?
David?
Oi, Scotty. You've arrived, David, just in time, I think, for us to wrap up because it's 9:30. We've been doing this, and David answered my question and said, good. He's a man of few words this evening. Although we love him dearly, and he's going to be back on the show next week. So, kiddies, that's the end of another episode. Say goodbye, Louis.
Later, folks.
No, I said
Bye,
say
Louis.
goodbye. You're from Sussex.
Bye, Louis.
Bye, Louis.
And bye-bye, everybody. And
Bye.
We'll see you next week. God bless you all. Time to go home. Time to go home from your simply spooky adrenaline ride. Time to go home. Time to go home. Even if you're terrified. Goodbye. Time to go home. Time to go home. Vivian and her weird friends are all going home. Time to go home. Time to go home. Vivian is waving goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.